Uh-huh. Check. All right. Okay. How about this button?
Oh, yeah, that's useful.
Nope. Mm-hmm. Push this button. Hey! Oh, whoops. Wrong screen. No. Okay, I know what it is. My back tests. Why am I taller now? What happened? What in the world? What in the Sam Hill is going on here? How did I? It's good. Wee. There, that's better. I don't even know. Am I different in all these things? No, I'm okay. I think so. All right. Yeah, that'll be all right. Okay. And yeah, hair's looking fluffy. I had it tied back, and then it's always an issue when you. Never mind. It's the struggle is real. I'm just saying. Afternoon. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, people. My people. Roger, I am around. It's true across the board. Welcome to the show. There's so much to talk about today, and not the least of which is the fact that I guess Rudy Giuliani is. I guess he wants to be bankrupt. Now, I'm only half kidding about this. By the way, Clippers work great. Do they? You think so? I don't. I disagree. I think they're wrong for my due. Actually, thanks for asking. We be Magooing the Magoo. That's right, chat room. By the way, hi chat room. Welcome to the show. I agree. I think the hair looks awesome as well. Thanks very much. And so Rudy, ironically enough, a hype train right away. Hype train, twitch.tv/AlsBarks, infotainmentwars.com. Like, subscribe. We hit the 60,000 mark. We should be in the home stretch toward 100K at this point. One would think. I thought clearing the 50 hump would be it, but apparently it's slow rolling and I don't care. And of course, if you're on Facebook, please, you don't have to use any foul language or bigoted language, but at least say something ornery at some point. Go, this show makes me mad, because apparently that's how you promote streams and stuff on Facebook. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. The Spock guy don't understand. Yes, and I would like to remind everyone that if you hit the like right now, it helps us immensely. As you enter the chat, please hit the like as you're coming in, especially if you're a regular. If you don't know what to expect and you're a stranger here and you're baffled by the entire thing and you're like, who is this handsome fellow with the long hair and the bold Real Genius t-shirt on and the lovely locks, and you're like, I don't know what this guy's up to. I'll make up my mind later. Totally cool. But if you're a regular, if you're here on the radio, please hit the like, because you like it for other reasons. You like us to be here. You like us to stay here. You like us. Oh, and thank you, Eileen, for the super chat. You want your $2? You just gave it away. You're such the Buddhist, I will say. But in the meantime, please hit that like right now, and it really does lift us up in the algorithm and allow us to show up in that going live now part of the YouTube the YouTube TV app, like the one that's on giant televisions and stuff. Especially, by the way, I don't want to say this, especially it shows up when people troll and they've forgotten they've come here and trolled before, and then their watch history dictates, this thing that you watched live and you were very aggravated about is back on. You might want to click that again. So that's how it works. Anyways, love you guys. Please do that if you can help us out. That really makes a huge difference. Likey, likety, like. 2024 congressional maps are going to be fantastic. Bicycle Mike eats trolls. This is all true. Now, some of you might notice that, but for a couple of things, when I'm talking to the chat, does it lift? Trucker John just asked me, does it lift me up in Christ? You notice I didn't have to look away? That is all thanks to my eh, odd use of an Elgato teleprompter. Thanks to um, our patrons, I was able to order one of these things, and it just arrived today. And instead of using it for like arranging my my thoughts beforehand, because who the fuck can do that when I'm dealing with this fire hose of lunacy? But what it does allow me to do is put my chat right there in front of my camera so that I don't have to go, "Hi, how's the chat?" Oh, by the hi, and then right. So kind of cool, and it's good. What's up, Kimchi? Thank you, patrons. New York has redrawn the map. 6 more House seats possible. Oh yeah, and I got news for you. They're gonna be Democrats. They're gonna be Democrats, and also I wouldn't worry about like this might be a mansion trade-off in the House as far as like West Virginia goes. But anyways, yeah. Woohoo. See that? I can see what you're saying without having to look like crane my neck up, which might be partially responsible for why my neck got as screwed up as it did, because I created the show without even thinking ahead to what's all this sitting, standing, leaning, and posture stuff about. So yeah, Templeton's Rats, merci beaucoup, de rien, enchanté, and etc. 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 Mansions in the Senate. This is what I was saying. Like the Senate, there'll be a swap out in the Senate where we might be a 1-for-1. We're more than likely not going to lose the majority in the Senate, and even if we do, it'll be in purplish districts, which will mean that they have to at least pass the baseline stuff. And so it will be and again, what's that? The first 2 years of Biden, and he has to do the same rollover everybody else does? I doubt it. So, and again, a good portion of the senators are the Republican senators are trying to limit a woman's right to choose, and that's going to cost them because they're acting like House members. There we go. So, yes, you're officially a House pain in the neck. No, I solved it, Josh. Thank you very much for noticing. Anyways, so like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Here we go. Now, today, if I may, and I think that I can, we have a broad range of things to cover because I did an accidental morning show after I was on Steph's show this morning, and Rudy Giuliani re-defamed Ruby Freeman and Jay Moss when they, before he went to court this morning. The judge recognized it, and this is a possibility. This will be tacked on to what he may end up having to pay them, even though, I mean, and I think, by the way, I think that's a strategy on his part, because I don't think he has anywhere near the lowest level as far as money. I don't think he has anywhere near the lowest amount of money that they're going to charge. Right? Fine him with or make him pay in damages. I don't think he has anywhere near that amount of money. And because of that, because I don't think he has anywhere near that amount of money, at a certain point, once you're once you're fucked, you're fucked. If you're going through hell, keep going. And I think that's where he's, like the minimum is 15 million. What are they going to do? Drive it up to 35? If he's only got 7 or less, or whatever the fuck it is, he's screwed anyways. And it's a non-dischargeable debt, so he's got to pay it. So I think he's got nothing to lose at this point because he's already lost it all. So it's better to just dig in and pretend. Because what are they going to do? Ask for twice as much money as he actually has? I think Rudy has hidden money, says Joy Fox. I think you're right, but I don't think it's a lot. I'm sure he has hidden money, but it's not in the tens of millions of dollars by any stretch, or he wouldn't be selling his apartment. Now, part of the reason that might be a smokescreen as well. He might be moving out of New York as a play, just like Trump did. But Trump, part of his moving out of New York was knowing that this preemptive strike about his businesses and stuff was a problem, and he moved to what would effectively be safe territory. So he moved down to Florida with the idea that Ron DeSantis is not going to extradite him to New York State or some bullshit, which is not the case. But I think it was a preemptive move on his part. Like, he knew shit was about to hit the fan, so moved down to Mar-a-Lago and lived there. The other thing is, and I don't get this, and maybe there's some maggots in the chat that can explain this shit to me. I've asked this question before, but I still not gotten an answer of any sort. Why the fuck doesn't Trump have a house? Why? Why doesn't he have it? Why did he buy a house? Why is he living in in basically the upstairs apartment, at Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster most of the year. I mean, I know he's avoiding that apartment in Trump Tower. Maybe it's because he feels like he's going to get a knock at the door. He can't. He's afraid they're spying on him or whatever. Maybe that's the reason. But you'd think he'd just. Aren't you a billionaire? Buy a fucking house already. Jesus Christ. He doesn't have one, so she can't have it. And thanks for the super chat, King USMCO. We had a train chemical fire here in Miles City, Montana. I'm saying this because there's a less than 30% chance you will read about this on the news. The in Miles City, Montana, was it? But was it an impactful one? I mean, is it contained? Is that why? I mean, we have somewhere in the order of 1,600 train wrecks a year, and that's not a weird number. Train tracks are funky. They're old technology. I mean, there's a real reason why we should probably have a more monorail-like track that it involves a giant, like a coupling as opposed to just two tracks like this, because we're still using the same track concept, right? Because we'd have to retool the trains themselves. But for Christ's sake, like, I mean, that's one of the great things about a monorail and why they call it that. Like a monorail system that was built on, steel and magnets would probably it would save a lot of lives and keep a lot of these things from teetering up. And you can't crash the thing by putting a fucking penny on the tracks in the middle of Kentucky. Don't ask me how I know that. So yeah. Josh started learning Chinese. It's challenging but very interesting. 学习中文一点容易. It's not 不太难. It's not too hard. It's pretty easy. You just have to get used to what you're not used to. And I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but that's because it is. It's daunting, but it's only daunting because it's different. And once you wrap your head around the kind of different it is, you get it. It's like most guitar players could learn to play the opposite hand, like left-handed if they're right-handed, right-handed if they play left-handed. It would just be funky for a while, but then they would get it because the concept is there. You just have to reorder the concept. Yeah. Biden's approval rating is meaningless right now. Don't sweat it. We went through the same bullshit with Obama, and we went through the same bullshit with Clinton the second time around. He was in the middle of an impeachment. Like, it's the same stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, I think this works really well where I can actually talk to you guys and kind of look at the chat. Does it at least look like I'm looking forward and not like I'm reading too much? I don't know if it might be irritating, but it should be, I guess, slightly better, right? Than looking funky. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, all right. So let's jump into our clips and see if this process works well in regards to this as well. Don't forget, again, if you're just jumping in here, hit that like button right away so it helps lift us up. And we've cleared 2K on the regular with the chat pretty normally. I'd like to get us to 3. Also, we're doing the 100,000 challenge, which is we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and followers on Facebook, and also 1,000 on 1,000 patrons. So patreon.com/HalSparks. Here we go. All right. Enough of this shizzle. Here we go. So this is I don't know, because I don't pre-watch these things. And you know this, because I'm not going to waste my fucking time looking at this shit twice when I kind of already know what the conclusion will be. But this is, it's not surprising that Jimmy Dore would do would cozy up to Alex Jones and give him a nutsuck, because it's at this point that's he and Rusty Trombone and all these other guys are kind of staking out. They're like, okay, what happens when Alex Jones explodes? Because I think that's pretty much how, if he passes away, that's how it's going to happen. He's just going to pop like a zit. And you can tell that Jimmy likes him because he's using a picture from like 2005. Right. So, which is, I think this is a picture of Alex Jones when he was 30 something. Okay. I am 54. Just for the record. Okay. Now, this is, obviously I brought something up about Alex Jones because he's just been led back onto Twitter, and we'll see where this looks like Jimmy agrees with me. I think that's what I'm going to think that, yeah, that's what really how he agrees with me. that that obviously, if there's an Illuminati pentaveret, cabal of baby-eating alien people, Alex, it works for them. He's an employee because you can't predict um, this kind of stuff and survive if any of it's true, unless they want you to predict stuff and then lay the blame someplace else. I guess that would be the theory, but we'll see. Jimmy obviously thinks the sun shines out of Alex's ass,
So look at this. Tucker interviewed Alex Jones the other day.
right, because that's what the world needs more of. The two of those assholes powwowing.
By the way, got him reinstated back on. We should do that next.
Right.
Got him reinstated back on Twitter's, and I'm not
On Twitters? Are there multiple ones now? Jesus Christ. X is multiplying.
calling it X.
Yeah, I'm dead naming it. I'm calling it Twitter.
That's right. We're dead naming it. As Kurt says, I'm going so far as I'm not even saying Malcolm X anymore.
Malcolm Twitter.
That's right.
Wow, I didn't know that they would manage to do a low-res transphobic joke and then an oddly anti-black and as anti-Muslim joke. Just tie it in, just punting bullshit. Just
Great Malcolm Twitter.
you know what you guys should try to do? Phone it in more.
Great Malcolm Twitter. So here, but he played this clip during that interview. Look at all the predictions that Alex Jones actually got right.
Okay, let's see it. So again, this is another episode apparently, and we'll see if he interjects, but it's another episode of Jimmy has this weird thing of playing this clip. We'll see if he stops, because that's what you're supposed to do. People think I stop too often, but I'm not borrowing people's content and just filling it in. I'm responding to it, referencing it, debunking it, and mocking it. But he just kind of, I guess he only stops to do one of Kurt's jokes.
Of September, that the new policy's being written, you will all have to wear masks again.
August 18th, 2023.
And so will airport employees.
It's happening. Mask mandates are officially back.
We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Okay. No, they weren't. Mask mandates are not back. They are absolutely not. Seriously. So let's chalk that one up with fucking wrong. Didn't happen. Like right out of the gate, horse shit. Okay, July 21st, 2001.
Wanted to blow up airliners, Baltimore Sun, or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA.
Okay, back up. Run that by me again. Okay, blow up airliners, which means hijack a plane, blow the plane up, not fly the plane into a building. He's just reiterating the same terrorist threat from before. It's happened before, it'll happen again. He was predicting the opposite of what happened on 9/11, that they would hijack planes and blow them up full of people or empty or whatever.
Britain, you will all have to wear masks again.
No, we didn't.
And so will
Look at this. And I think it's smart of Jimmy to drink water while Alex is talking, so we know what a great ventriloquist he is.
airport employees.
It's happening. Mask mandates are officially back.
We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners.
We know that the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners, not terrorists. I guess Clinton's Joint Chiefs wanted to blow up airliners. Okay.
Baltimore Sun, or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s.
This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden.
He's the boogeyman they need. We're looking.
All right. If he's the boogeyman they need, ultimately, again, maybe the Bush and the Cheneys wanted something like this, but the rest of the country didn't. Also, what the fuck?
Getting a giant.
Also, again, this is the argument, by the way, of all those details. What's the assertion in that? Let's see, because he's saying these came true. The first one's bullshit.
Mandates are officially back.
We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners, Baltimore Sun, or if you.
The Baltimore Sun apparently is the source for the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanting to blow up airliners. Reference to be found later, but I guess bullshit.
let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know.
Or you let some terrorist group do it like the World Trade Center, meaning that the first, not this, but the first bombing of the World Trade Center, again, he's just revisiting shit that had happened before. If you let them do it and you get a patsy to do it, because this is all his false flag horseshit. The assertion here is not that there's a terrorist threat, it had happened before, it happened again, and there's alignment. What he's predicting here is not that there will be another terrorist thing in the future or whatever. It's that the Joint Chiefs of Staff staged a false flag that later on created this, which is dog shit.
Who to blame. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, this group.
Right, but then not a CIA asset. We funneled weapons to him so that the Russians wouldn't know it. But he was a breakaway from a bigger group. He wasn't the target. Like, the CIA didn't find Osama bin Laden and make him the conduit. They were giving arms to the Mujahideen and the Yusufzad and a bunch of different allied tribes, because again, Afghanistan's not a fucking country. It's 12 tribes all in the shittiest desert in the world, and the reason it's, quote, the graveyard of empires is because every empire that's tried to conquer the space realized they're fighting over a fucking sandbox full of cat turds, and they just pack it in.
Group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden.
He's the boogeyman they need.
We're looking at a giant.
How the hell did he know that?
Know what? Everybody talked about Osama bin Laden. It was literally in the transition. They were aware that, and by the way, that statement, that meeting, like the biggest, there was a whole conversation with Bill Clinton to George Bush saying your biggest concern is Osama bin Laden. That's the thing. The later PDB that said Osama bin Laden, determined to strike inside the United States. That shit, that was later. That was the one he ignored. But the conversation about it had happened multiple fucking times. Osama bin Laden had been involved in a bunch of this shit.
Because they were, for the same reason that George Bush and the other should have known it, because everyone knew it apparently. It was a warning, and these groups.
Right. Kurt, you're undermining. You're misunderstanding. Jimmy's not asking you. That was a rhetorical ask. He's really just too dumb to process what you're saying to him.
That we funded, we knew were, talking about doing something like this. So you don't have to be a prophet. I mean, every single time, it's like all the things are right there if someone feels like looking at it to prevent, but they just never want to do it.
So it's kind of.
They never want to look at it. So that's the idea. So unfortunately, Kurt is kneecapping Jimmy's, Alex Jones's magic mythology and just basically going, this was just an intelligence failure, laziness, or they really don't think it's going to, they'd be capable of it. Kind of like the October 7th thing. Like the plan is so extravagant, nobody thinks they can pull it off. That shit.
Like October 7th also.
I mean, without fail, I can't think of a single thing.
They had the literal blueprint of the plan that Hamas.
No, they didn't. They had an extraordinary exaggeration of the actual plan. The plan that they had said that Hamas was going to attack 60 fucking spots on the border all at once. They hit 4. You see how that works? The reason, and you could argue that the plan was a dodge. It was literally like, it's 60, we're going to hit 6. You know what I'm saying? Like that everything is code, essentially. They'll think if we make it grandiose, they'll think we can never fucking pull this off. Right? And that's exactly what happened. This is fucking stupid.
It's aspirational.
I have a theory about this, because there were a lot of people in New York before 9/11. This is like an untold story of 9/11.
Uh-oh. See, I told you they're coming for Alex Jones's buck. By the way, they let Alex Jones back on Twitter right at the time when there are the place is full of Alex Jones clones everywhere. He's so fucking unnecessary. And there's a lot of people that even go further than him down the whack hole rabbit hole.
A lot of people were saying that New York was going to get hit by a major terrorist attack.
Because it had been hit before and because Bush was blowing it off.
Like this was a pretty conventional
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah, everybody was saying it, but there wasn't a timeline on it.
wisdom
By the way, also true of the October 7th thing. There was no timeline on it.
kind of thing. I have a video of a show that went on in one of my theaters where the guy did a monologue about it, about how we all know that we're going to get hit by a terrorist attack. That was about a year before 9/11.
Oh, you mean after New York had already been hit with a terrorist attack, and as the most populous and diverse city in the entire fucking country, that might occur to some people? Here's what I want to know. How many people were doing that exact same fucking show in San Francisco, in Chicago, in LA? Right? LA's the media capital of the world at that point. So, of course, they're next. They tried it. There was a bunch of people in LA who were saying the same stupid shit. It just didn't pan out, so nobody's checking back in with them. You find somebody who says it about every city in the country eventually, right?
You know, to get a job in the CIA or the FBI, one of the questions they ask you is if you've ever smoked pot or you've ever taken psychedelic drugs, if you've ever done anything like that. And if you say yes, you're out. I don't think anybody who got through high school without smoking a joint is going to have the imagination to really project what terrorists are likely to do.
Right. So what he's saying is that if a human being doesn't have access to drugs, they're not as capable as him. All right. For the record, you guys know I have never smoked pot and I have never done LSD. I've never done fucking drugs. I don't begrudge people who do. I'm a good guy about it, but I don't fucking do it. Yeah, that guy's stoned currently. But you say what you will about me and call me an asshole, not like my show, all that kind of stuff. But one thing you can't say is that I have at any time in my life, I've had a failure of imagination.
I think you wind up with a lot of very uncreative, very flatline kind of people who just don't think outside the box. This is why after 9/11 they brought in Hollywood screenwriters to War Game, because they don't have people who can really do that effectively.
No. They brought in the Hollywood screenwriters so they could War Game because this was a backfill to pay them off for arranging 9/11. Have you not been watching Alex Jones?
Well, also they had some people that imagined it because they wrote it down and said, "Pass this up the chain."
Yeah,
and it didn't. The people like,
Kurt, why are you urinating on all the stoner logic? First you kneecap Jimmy's stupid argument, then this guy, you're totally blowing his high right now.
like, shut up.
it landed on George Bush's desk. It was in his briefing.
Right? Yeah, we know. It was an ongoing threat.
The Osama bin Laden set to attack inside
Osama bin Laden? That guy's
the
scary.
United States, and he ignored it.
I think you only move up if you're telling the guy above you what he wants to hear.
Oh, and by the way, Bush ignored it. Real quick, does anybody in my chat room think George W. Bush never did drugs? Honestly, again, you want to fucking like cut the Achilles heel of that dumb fuck's argument. Like George Bush has the biggest failure of imagination, and the dude was a massive user forever. The fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck thinks that Mr. I didn't inhale had a failure of imagination, but he passed it off to this?
Here, that
He passed it off to George W. Bush, who, get the fuck out of here.
And they were
the
actually-
guy who he's gonna move him up if he does it.
They were actually doing war game scenarios where terrorists would take planes and fly them into buildings.
Yeah,
At the very time. I know that because of James Corbett. Let me rewind this one more time.
Person named Osama bin Laden.
He's the boogeyman they need.
We're looking at a giant war in February right now. I predict the Russians are going to roll in. They're already there. They're going to roll in.
With attacks across Ukraine.
Also, yeah, he was agreeing with the Biden administration, you fucking tool. That was literally the same. That was, look at the date at the top of this thing. December 8th, 2021. And when the other one, January.
Russians are going to roll in. They're already there. They're going to roll in.
With attacks.
Yeah, this is what the Biden administration was saying. So the most recent of the three bullshit examples they give, The most recent is the time he agreed with the Biden administration when Jimmy was saying it's not going to happen, and if it did happen, the Ukrainians deserve it.
Across Ukraine, which is the size of Texas.
It really was.
Isn't that amazing?
No, it's not. A lot of people could have flipped a coin and come up with it half the time. He was siding with, he believed the Biden intelligence on it. They were overt about it. As a matter of fact, the Biden administration released the intelligence about it. They rarely do that, but to try and convince the Ukrainians, they were like, well, all right, guys, we're serious. This is really happening. That was right then. It didn't come to him in a fucking dream, you dumbass.
That he knew that was coming. So he predicted 9/11. He predicted.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. After the World Trade Center was bombed originally, he thought at some point they're going to hit New York again because there's a mix of human beings in New York that make it uniquely possible. It is the most diverse city in the country. So of course you're going to have, like, if there's going to be a strike that's going to be organic, that's going to come from New York, will be the target or the place for it to happen. Jesus Christ. Dude, it's not like he called it and it fucking happened in Nashville. Again, did he predict the fucking dude who parked his fucking camper van in front of the AT&T building and play Patsy Cline and blow himself to fucking bits? No. He just, afterwards, he goes, it's a false flag, everything's a false flag. That's all, they're trying to set us up again or whatever. Every time somebody goes crazy and shoots someplace up, they're a CIA operative that's been set out there to try and change the gun laws, and it hasn't worked yet, so they keep on doing it and that kind of stuff. And once we make sure that they can't do that, then there'll never be another shooting again. What the fuck?
Predicted Russia's invasion of Donbass and Ukraine.
They were already in the Donbass, you fuckwad.
And everybody else is caught flat-footed.
Well, the secret
No, they aren't. That was what the Biden administration had said.
is the same secret as, I don't know, everything we talked about Ukraine for 2 years, that just now they're all saying there's an embargo on telling, there's like an embargo on telling the truth. They're like, don't tell the truth until this date.
That's right.
When everybody, it's cool. And you don't have to be a prophet.
Sure.
You literally just look at the thing in front of your goddamn face.
Right. So what you're trying to say, I think, is that Alex Jones is just, I guess, parroting shit that's obvious. All right, sure. And by the way, Jimmy has no idea how to field that because.
Let me play this.
Iraqis. That's just because they're getting ready to invade Iraq. And what a beautiful setup.
So that was.
Hold on. What's the date on this? The fuck is this audio cassette here? March 20th, 2002.
Let me play this.
Iraqis. That's just because they're getting ready to invade Iraq. And what a beautiful setup.
Right. That's what everybody was worried about in March of 2002, you fucking moron. Everybody's like, that. Why are they talking about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction and all this? Yeah. Everybody was, what the shit? Like, this is just dumb. We were all worried about that at that time. Good God, you remember anything?
So that was.
So what?
Let me play one more time.
Better hit rate than
September.
CNN.
Oh my God. August 18th, 2023. He said masks are back. Are you guys, is everybody wearing a mask? Are there mask mandates everywhere? Have you been? When you flew for Thanksgiving, if you did, when you traveled for Thanksgiving, if and when you did, was everybody masked up? Were you told and made to mask up fucking anywhere except maybe a relative's house that had an issue? That is not an example of him being right. That is an example of him being wrong.
That the new policy's being written, you will all have to wear masks again, and so will airport employees.
It's happening. Mask mandates are.
Atlanta College reinstates mask mandates for students and employees. from the Rising, August 22nd, 2023. Hold on. When was... Because they had announced it and it took that long for the Rising to do a bit, so it looks like a fucking prediction? Hold on. Wait a fucking second. This is going to aggravate me. See. All right. Here's where you want to see where the fuck do you think he got it from? No, continue without supporting you. Hold on. Yeah. This is August 18th, 2023, right? This is Alex Jones wakes up in the fucking morning, and where does he go first? Well, first of all, he goes to the fucking mainstream media like all these assholes do. Because they're like, the mainstream media is out there. And then he wakes up in the fucking morning, and this is what you get. New York Post headline, August 18th, 2023. A midsummer surge of COVID variant, should we be wearing masks? Collapse bronchability, 100-day, get the fuck out of here. To mask or not to mask? That is a question facing doctors, public health officials, and concerned citizens worldwide as cases of COVID-19 again tick upward. Meanwhile, the CDC warned on Thursday that there's a new, highly mutated variant, BA286, that's spreading worldwide. Recent data from the New York State Department of Health released August 2nd showed COVID cases spiked 55% over the prior week, with an average of 824 reported cases per day across the state. The rise in COVID-19 cases isn't limited to New York. CDC recorded 10,320 U.S. hospital admissions for COVID-19 in the week ending August 5th, a 14.3% increase from the week prior. However, despite alarmist headlines about a summer surge, many doctors are urging people not to panic. It is ticking up a little bit, but it's not something we need to raise alarm bells over. And then there's a picture, and what does it say? Mask mandates aren't likely to return anytime soon, some health officials. The good news is we're not seeing anything in the virus that suggests it's getting more transmissible or more lethal. This really is just waning immunity. This is part of living with COVID, and these fluctuations are being expected. Public health, this is what the fuck happened. Alex woke up that morning, picked up the fucking newspaper or got, his feed of articles, and he obviously goes to the Post, and the Post floated this kind of shit. And they're at let's see if they're back up to this guy. Bleak. There was here you go. This is after it. Mask mandates return, full list of places with restrictions in place. This is the 29th. This is a full list. BA286 have emerged, later variant. New variants, there were at least 15,000 in the week. Carries, spread of COVID. Here's the list. Where is it? Here's the place where there are mask mandates. This is the list where masking is currently required. Morris Brown College, Lionsgate Entertainment, Kaiser Permanente, a fucking hospital, you think? United Health Services, New York, Auburn Community Hospital, Upstate Medical Hospital in Syracuse. Hi. Oh, hi. And Chud is just coming by to say hi. Hi, what are you doing? Were you barking outside the door? Was she making noise? She was worried about me. Hold on one second. We have a Chud sighting. You can't shut the door, babe, because she'll sit here the whole time. 1 second. No, she'll. Yeah, there you go. Hi. Come here. Oh, it's sickly. Oh, Chud's been a little sickly lately, but she's gotten her mojo back. So she's moving around, which is good. But we had about 3 days that were kind of touch and go. Yeah. Yeah. Good to sweetie. You want to give her a ride upstairs? There you go. Okay. Right. Oh, there you go. There you go. Love you. The Chip's coming second. Is that what? Chip, or are you coming in too? What is going on? You missing the party? Come here. They're gonna want to see you too because you're just riding around. Crazy boy. What you doing? What's the Chipper doing? What's the Chipper doing? What you doing? Did you just follow Chud downstairs? You harbor seal? You panda? Get to go. Come on. All right, where was I? Yeah, Chip. Oh, it's good. Yeah, Chud was, yeah, we got to say, when we came back, Chud was a little rough around the gills. She was not breathing well, and she's, she's a short nose anyway, so she gets wheezy. And yeah, but she's much better now. So many people are coughing now. Yeah, I mean, there's RSV and some other respiratory stuff going around. And again, nobody's masking up, at least not mandated. And so that's why you need to know that both of these guys are equally and ragingly full of shit.
So will airport employees.
Yeah, no. Airport employees did not. As a matter of fact, in the follow-up, as I just showed you, there were like 2 colleges and hospitals suggested.
It's happening. Mask mandates are officially back.
We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners. Baltimore Sun.
And again, what's this fucking, look what I look at. I go, the fuck are you talking about? We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airplanes. Okay, hold on. Baltimore, hold on. This we gotta look up. Baltimore Sun, Joint Chiefs blow up airlines, something like that. Yeah, okay, so so he's talking about Operation Northwoods, I guess. Cuba. Oh, right. The idea that somebody floated the idea that we should blow up some airlines and blame it on Cuba or something like. Meanwhile, let's see. Operation Northwoods. Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to. Okay. No, okay. So here it is. Okay. May 1995. Manila, Philippines, called the Project Bojinka, the explosion. The plan was devastating in its complexity and technical brilliance. If it had not been foiled, it might have been the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history. Project Bojinka was a plan to blow up 11 U.S. airliners over the Pacific in a day of rage at the United States. According to investigators, it called for 5 Muslim terrorists to plant, blah, blah, blah. Bojinka? Mr. Bojinka danced. Yeah, from Baltimore Sun, Baltimore Sun, Wikipedia, bailout pays airlines and president. I guess he's conflating these two things. That the Philippines were going to blow up these and Project Northwoods, Operation Northwoods, rather, which was a proposed false flag. That they, it's one of these things that during the Cuban Missile Crisis that they were going to try and push for. He's just conflating and overlaying stuff. By the way, that didn't happen.
Or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. And if there was.
Also, what he's saying in that clip, for the record, for context, is that he believes the U.S. government let the terrorists bomb the World Trade Centers in the basement with the truck bomb that they let it happen because they wanted it to happen.
Was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s.
This group and its leader, a person named Osama.
All right, I don't like him replaying this fucking clip as if it's fucking magic is a waste of time. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. We'll dive into some of this stuff if it's important, but good Lord, what a waste of like pixels. Meanwhile, if I may, back in the world of sort of real news, Mike Johnson, who is seen here celebrating finally becoming a real boy, is had a meeting with Zelensky today, and I want to see what he had to say.
Thank you all for being here. Just had a good meeting with President Zelensky. I reiterated to him that we stand with him and against Putin's brutal invasion.
We're just going to not help.
The American people stand for freedom, and they're on the right side of this fight. I have asked the White House since the day that I was handed the gavel as Speaker for clarity. We need a clear articulation of the strategy to allow Ukraine to win. And thus far, their responses have been insufficient. They have not provided us the clarity and the detail that we have requested over and over since.
A couple problems with that. One is attrition is really the only guarantee of winning. If we just dumped arms in Ukraine's hands and let them just go for broke, is really the only way you can guarantee a win. The other part is that if we tell you, you'll tell the Freedom Caucus, and some of these motherfuckers have Lavrov on speed dial.
Literally 24 hours after I was handed the gavel as Speaker of the House. And so what the Biden administration seems to be asking for is billions of additional dollars with no appropriate oversight, no clear strategy to win, and none of the answers.
It's not our war, dumb fuck. We're just supporting them. And again, the only strategy that will clearly let them win is if we stop holding back purse strings in our support, period.
That I think the American people are owed. I have also made very clear from day one that our first condition on any national security supplemental spending package is about our own national security first. The border is an absolute catastrophe, and this is because of the policies of this White House and this administration.
No, it's because the wall that was built an access wall on the Mexican side of it, allowing people to traverse to the very end of it onto native land or private land and sneak around the edges of it. It also is poorly constructed slat fence that you can cut through and climb over pretty fucking easily. It creates an area where the people coming through can actually see where Customs and Border Patrol people are through the fucking fence. They don't have to crawl up to the top of it. Remember, Trump was all about, it's got to be see-through. Otherwise, people will catapult bags of drugs over the top of it, and they'll land on poor, unsuspecting Border Patrol. Like, it's going to hit them in the head like a fucking Three Stooges bit. And, of course, Title 42, which created an entire industry of border crossers.
We had 12,000 illegal crossings on one day last week alone, on Wednesday. We have...
right, and they were caught and processed.
Almost now 280 known terrorists that have been apprehended at the border.
Oh, so you would rather they not be apprehended?
None of this counts the gotaways. If you add the numbers up, it's almost 7 million people who have been encountered at the border just since President Biden took office. And
no, because again, recidivism being what it was, previous to the end of Title 42, people got to try again, which most of the people who had been, that they were seeing like the beginning of this year especially, had been caught crossing the border 5 times and rejected already.
At least 2 million gotaways. This is twice the population of my state of Louisiana.
Right. So why do you have senators? Your entire state has a third the people of Los Angeles, and yet you have 2 senators. You have 2 votes in the Senate, and you have a third the population of 1 city in California. Does that? I have to say, that seems like a misallocation of government funds.
Fentanyl is the leading cause of death for Americans age 18 to 49 in this country.
Because we've driven down every other form of death.
Fentanyl poisoning, because it's allowed over the border.
It's not allowed over the border.
We have human trafficking and all the other terrible things. In the last 3 months, October, November, December alone.
You're so close, stupid. You're gonna say we've caught a bunch of this stuff. We've seized it at the border. There's been a lot more seizures at the border.
We've had more illegal crossings at the border than in any entire year during the Obama administration.
Right. I blame the wall. But also, you do realize that's a known number.
The American people see this. They feel it acutely. They see all.
Why? Do they see it in their towns, largely? I mean, I know there have been groups of 10,000, maybe 40,000 in New York City, which is, again, a city of that has a city by itself that has a population 4 times the size of your goddamn state. And you're talking about 100,000 people added to a city of 7.6 million. And do you think people in New York are walking down the street going, is that guy Guatemalan? For fuck's sake, it's New York.
The terrible societal ills that come from this. And
what would that be?
And it must be addressed. So I've made this very clear, again, from the very beginning, when I was handed the gavel.
Way back then.
We needed clarity on what we're doing in Ukraine and how we'll have proper oversight of the spending of precious taxpayer dollars of the American citizens, and we needed a transformative change at the border. Thus far, we've gotten neither. The Senate has been in.
Yeah, again, because your entire fucking caucus is untrustworthy.
MIA on this. The House passed H.R. 2 6 months ago, more than 6 months ago. It's been sitting and collecting dust on Chuck Schumer's desk. I have told him personally, I've told the National Security Advisor, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, that these are our conditions because these are the conditions of the American people.
No, they're not. They aren't. They are not the conditions of the American people. You have, as of now, as of the end of the year, you will have a 1-vote majority in the Senate. I mean, in the House, rather. You'll have a 1-vote majority. The overwhelming sentiment of the United States is actually, of the citizenry, is to support Ukraine. Hence, the presidency and the Senate and how narrow your margin is in the House, which is, again, a gift of redistricting. One that you, by the way, had to literally craft bullshitters to get into office. You had to run a George Santos in one of the districts just to help get that majority.
And we are resolute on that. It is not the House's issue right now. The issue is with the White House and the Senate. And I implore them to do their job because the time is urgent and we do want to do the right thing here. With that,
Why do you have to wait for them to do the right thing for you to do the right thing? Curious.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. That was it. Okay, so that's the address on it. Not surprising. Very in line with the shit McCarthy was saying. Honestly, nearly no material difference. Where do we go? We'll go back to here, and then we can look at the chat room. By the way, hi chat room, welcome. See how the numbers pop up when you hit that like early? Just saying. We're entering into our second hour. Now's a good time. Just hit that like button, and we'll do the yeah. So next up, I'm torn because while they're sort of the usual suspects in some of these areas, like this person, and there's this Jim Jordan fella who's very upset that everyone's saying there's no evidence against Biden because there's no evidence, and he doesn't understand the difference between information and evidence. Because technically speaking, you have to have a crime, but also, can I say that this? You also have Glenn Beck. What the Washington Post got wrong? I don't know if the Washington Post gets anything right. They are the mainstream media. Why are you even reading them? It's very strange. But I know I want to cover those, but I kind of got to cover this fucking guy. Fox Business had a guy on called the Cow Guy to talk about F-150 production and I don't know. It just says major blow dealt to Biden's energy policy, according to the Cow Guy. A true expert. I have no idea. I've never heard of this fucker. But it's Fox Business. It's anything. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just Maria Bartiromo without any makeup or a wig.
Ford has just announced that they are cutting their electric F-150 production in half over the next year. Scott Shelley joins me now. This is a real blow to Biden's green energy policy.
No, because it's still too expensive, and again, the F-150. The reason they're doing this is they're shifting it to more commuter vehicles because that's the main audience for electric cars right now. Electric trucks will be a thing, but the kind of folks that buy F-150s are the exact opposite audience. That's why they're doing it. I mean, it was cool. It's smart of them to do it in the first place as to get it up and running, but the production of it will be hit and miss for a while because it's aimed at the wrong audience. I think the classic win is in electric cars, go back to designs from the 60s and release a classic Mustang that looks exactly like a classic Mustang, but is an EV. That kind of shit would be amazing. Very little modifications to the design and the lines and turn it into an electric vehicle.
Isn't it, Scott?
Of course it is. And the Biden green energy policy is garbage.
What the ever-loving fuck?
Bottom line,
it's garbage, says this guy.
This is a farce that's been foisted upon the American public.
It's a farce that's been foisted upon. Some people say hoist, but not the Cow Guy. He says foist.
And Europe.
but which is better than being last.
Europeans and everybody involved that has been put under this mandate that we're going to have to do it. And as you said just a second ago, Stuart, a lot of these mandates have been pushed off. Let the next president worry about it or the next prime minister worry about it. It's a farce. Now, let me just say, number one, you know, where I came from.
A cow's backside? Where are you going, I think, is like, just so I could avoid that party.
When you talk about subsidies, which is basically government money to try to change your behavior and your spending patterns.
Or to support things that people want to do but are too expensive because it's a new technology. We subsidized all the gas stations in the entire fucking country.
Where I came from, that's
an Easter egg painting contest where they keep telling you have to be 500 yards away because there's too many children present.
Called a bribe, okay? A bribe.
Yes, subsidies are bribes. Cool. Tell that to the oil companies. Really? So we've been bribing oil companies since 1909.
And they're trying to bribe Americans to get behind these electric vehicles. They've done it to the car makers because the subsidies when it comes to making those cars is about $50,000 all in. And so now, even with these bribes...
So why aren't they giving them away for free?
/subsidies. These things are still staying around the lots, like you've reported, between 12 and 18 months. Nobody's buying them. So Americans are voting with their feet. Now, I'll finish up with this. It's not...
They're also $80,000 to $150,000 for an F-150.
That hard to understand. Common sense isn't that common anymore.
Well, clearly. Obviously, it's not on your shopping list.
But back in the day,
common sense would lead you to dress like you're a carton of milk that's been left out on the counter in the sun for a very long time.
When we had guys getting off of horses and getting into cars.
Is that how it works?
For the first time.
For the first time, yeah. It was weird. You know, the guy kept trying to put oats into the grill and walking around behind the car with a broom.
How many subsidies / bribes did you see going on back then?
Lots.
None. It was just a better idea.
No, it wasn't. The fuck are you talking about? Range anxiety stopped the development of the car industry for a very long time. The U.S. government subsidized every fucking gas station in the goddamn country.
They haven't made the...
What do you think the highway bill was, you asshole?
...sale to the American people, so they're just not going to do it. So when they try to shove something down your throat... I mean, how many people flew into the COP conference you're talking about in electric jets? Really? I mean, so that's the world we're living...
No, they pay carbon... They pay for carbon offsets.
And now Thomas Sowell says it best. We're abandoning things that works for things that sound better.
That's
and they're not working.
Now, in this CPI...
By the way, the same thing was said about solid-state computers versus like compact computers, like tape-based systems were the rage, and then you switch over to, you know, remember the big like floppy disk issue when they went from being the son of soft five and a quarter or five, whatever they were, 525s. And then you go to the little plastic discs. I think I have some around here someplace. Do I? Where would they be, you rat? When they first came out, you were running, you son of a bitch. Where are you? I moved them, didn't I? God damn it. So you guys know what I'm talking about. The when it went from discs this big to the ones that were this big, the 3.5 inch, yeah. And it was like, Jesus Christ, I was like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? And everybody had to convert to it, and it was slow going and all this shit. And then zip drives came along and all that kind of shit. Like, for fuck's sake.
Report this morning, investors seem to be concerned about the rise in the core rate of inflation.
Yeah, do they?
Okay, of 3.1%, that's
year over year.
Year over year. But if you look at the core, inflation actually went up. Have I got that right, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a worry, and that's...
It's going to be a worry. I tell you what, if it's going to be a worry, I got enough to worry about. When it starts to become a worry, you let us know, then we'll start worrying when it's done gonna be in.
It's going to be a blow, I think, to all those folks out there that think we're going to get rate cuts. Stuart, we got rate hikes to try to calm inflation. And inflation's not going down. It's just going up at a slower pace, right? Remember?
That's how it works, fuckhead. That's what a soft landing is about.
Remember what I said last week?
Yes, what'd you say last week? That the Dow was going to crash?
If I'm gaining weight this year, but not as much as I gained last year, am I getting thinner? No. That's what the...
Yes, you are. Because you are moving more, and at some point, you will reach escape velocity with your activity and your caloric intake. If you're gaining weight all the time, and then the gaining weight slows, then whatever you're doing, whether it's diet or exercise, neither of which looks like there's enough, whatever, then yes, you have made progress.
The media is trying to tell you, you're just getting a little bit fatter, but at a slower pace, right? So that's inflation for you summed up. And that's the
that's an idiotic summation.
Case that we're seeing now. If they think about cutting rates in that environment, Stuart, that's only going to start to reignite inflation, number one.
Jesus Christ. So if rates go up, it's terrible. If rates come down, it's terrible. Cool.
Number two, we've got the Fed funds rate at that range of 5.25 to 5.5 right now. We went back here and did a study back to 1971, Stuart, the 50-year average.
Oh, this motherfucker's going to bring up equations that don't involve us going through a pandemic and shortening supply chains, isn't he?
On that Fed funds rate, it's 5.42%. We're right in the middle of it. So this might be normal for longer, not higher for longer.
That's a good explanation.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, because it has nothing to do with monetary policy, you twit. It's supply shock. We went through COVID. Oh, God. It's so aggravating.
Scott Shelley, you're all right. And I know we'll see you again soon.
Well, we certainly can't miss him.
Thanks so much, man.
This is great. This is great. So that's the current state of quality at Fox. Now, if we can real quick, I'm going to jump into this. You're watching House Park's Megaworldwide. That's Jim Jordan spelled G-Y-M. And you might know him as the guy who looked the other way while sexual assault was happening to his wrestlers when he was the assistant coach at OSU. Literally in his position, the bridge between his players and the coach and the school. And he basically chose to run interference against the players and for this guy who was sexually assaulting them. So that said, we are 3.5 months into this, or years into this, and this asshole's, it's ridiculous to say there's no evidence against Joe Biden. They must be hearing this a lot or it just hurts.
Here now with reaction. He is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan is with us, sir. You know, I'm getting a little sick and tired
Jesus.
of this comment that are made by liberal commentators and by...
Oh, is it just that people are saying there's no evidence? For the record, I'm not just saying there's no evidence. I'm saying that these people are too stupid to understand the difference between evidence and information, which is a distinction with a difference.
Democrats. There's not a shred of evidence, nothing at all whatsoever.
Right. There's not.
That ties Hunter Biden and his foreign business dealings with Joe Biden.
Right.
Now, Jim Jordan, I think it would probably in the minute.
What do you think the chances are that this dumb motherfucker is going to bring up the Shokin call again and just walk right into the rake that's laying in the yard?
You could blow that right out of the water.
Yeah, kill it. You know what? You brought on the perfect guy. He's going to nail it, Sean. You just, you know what? As a matter of fact, you just get to play this tape whenever anybody bothers you about it.
So I would ask you.
Yeah, there's meetings, there's dinners, there's phone calls.
Yeah, none of that. That's evidence. That's not evidence. That's information. Also, the meetings and dinners are after he's out of office.
Multiple times. The only thing that's changed in this whole thing is the story from the White House. First they said nothing, and then we find out, all these multiple meetings, multiple dinners, multiple phone calls into with Joe Biden as part of these. So,
no, he's still calling you a bullshit artist.
For them to say that there's nothing there is just ridiculous. And it goes right back to the beginning, Sean, when Joe Biden sits down with the mayor of Moscow, with Hunter Biden, with his...
with the mayor of Moscow?
His business partners and says, no, he never had any involvement. This is the same lady that gave Hunter Biden over $1 million, $3.5 million.
Yeah, she didn't give it to Hunter. She gave it to Devin Archer. Hold on one second. Let's see. Let's see. Biden received 3.5 Newsweek. Okay, this is unraveling the story. Okay, Elena Baturina. Hold on. Gave Hunter 3.5 million. No, the answer. I think you should have that answer. Whatever. The FBI knew the laptop. Ron Johnson. Last 50 days, the 2020 election. The okay, staff. This is older though. Trump quickly weaponized the factoid for saying it 42 times. An attorney for Hunter Biden denied the allegation 2020, but it's lived on in right-wing media. Trump's so-called call-out that the flimsiness allegation was apparent from the start, merely by carefully reading the Senate GOP report itself. The executive summary offers a seemingly definitive bullet point. Hunter Biden received $3.5 million wire transfer from Elena Baturina, the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. But 2 pages in the report, that deal with this transaction are considerably more nuanced, never saying outright that Hunter Biden received this money and making no claim that any laws were broken. The GOP report itself does not provide evidence to back up the claim that became a talking point. It's a complicated story involving, let's see. Reporting has unearthed the best explanation about what really happened. It's a complicated story involving a web of corporate entities that eventually leads to the purchase of millions of dollars worth of real estate in Brooklyn by the Russian billionaire. We found no evidence that Hunter Biden was part of those transactions. Yeah. Cool story, bro. Also, I mean, I'm trying, like, if anybody can find what he's referencing, that Biden had dinner with Elena Baturina, or the mayor of Moscow. It's something like, yeah.
It all starts back in 2014, and she's connected to Burisma. She's connected.
Why?
To where this all starts. So
no, she's not.
For them to say that makes no sense. That's why we're going to have an.
Okay. By the way, this is Comer logic. So here's what I think he's saying. She's connected to Burisma because her investment went through Devin Archer, and Devin Archer worked at Burisma with Hunter Biden. That's it. Insofar as I know, she didn't invest in yeah. And is he pronouncing that right? Is it
the Burmese executives?
Right.
So this Burmese, they say pronounce it Burmese.
Impeachment inquiry vote. It'll help us get additional witnesses in, which will buttress, I think, the already compelling evidence that we have.
That's not evidence. And like what wasn't an obvious, like, flim-flam, shuck and jive with some details that exist, the rest of it's just frankly made up out of nowhere.
All right, well, but it wasn't, you're talking about Elena Baturina.
Right. Sean has hit the same snag we did.
That's the Russian oligarch.
No, her husband was a Russian oligarch. He's dead.
Some former First Lady of Moscow. But it wasn't just the $3.5 million. Didn't Devin Archer testify and say that she invested over $100 million in
the real estate,
venture that Hunter,
that Devin Archer ran, that Hunter was not a part of,
was involved in, and the family was involved in.
Was Devin Archer involved in this? Does he have a reason to say that somebody else played a bigger part in it than he did? Or again, what the fuck?
It's $100 million from a Russian oligarch. And by the way, the same Russian oligarch he had dinner with at Cafe Milano, correct?
Hold on. Okay, so maybe that's it. Okay, Cafe Milano. Let's see. Cafe Milano Biden. What's he referring to? Yeah, this is a New York Post story. Right here. Okay, so shall we? Come with me, folks. Let's take a look at the source for all this stuff. Inside the secret restaurant lair, nice, New York Post, nice try, where Joe Biden met Hunter's cronies. Well, I'm sure this would be, illuminating. After a half century of working in the swamp, Joe Biden knows how to play hide and seek. So when the vice president of the United States had clandestine dinner meetings with some of his troubled son Hunter's cronies, he did so in a very private room at his favorite Washington, D.C. restaurant, Cafe Milano. According to records found on Hunter Biden's laptop, a dinner with Vadim Pizarsky, an executive of the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, took place in the restaurant's garden room in April of 2015. Oh, this is the one where he was there and he walked by and said hi or whatever. Okay. The Bidens are also said to have met. The dinner, yeah, with Hunter, though. Okay, well, whatever. We'll keep reading. The Bidens are also said to have met with Kazakh oligarch Keniz Rakishev and former Kazakhstan Prime Minister Karim at the Milano. That's where the World Food Bank dinner was. Source told the Post that Biden, who usually eats at table 100, has also used the pricey Italian eatery's private wine room on the second floor. Yes, but because he used that room previously does not mean he used that room with these fucking people. And also, they're playing fast and loose with Hunter Biden versus Joe Biden, just saying Biden and hoping you don't notice. Chairman of the Oversight Committee, James Comer, that is probing alleged foreign influence peddling by Hunter, referenced the swank Georgetown Eatery Wednesday, saying Hunter appeared to give Russian, Kazakhstani, and Ukrainian business people access to he did. It appeared. During Joe Biden's vice presidency, Hunter sold him as the brand. That doesn't have anything to do with this. Appears no real services provided. Okay, that has nothing to do with these. And Hunter Biden seems to have delivered. This is made clear by meals at Cafe Milano, where the vice president dined with oligarchs from around the world who had sent money to his son. Milano, as it's known, Beltway's cognizant since the Clinton administration. Once popular in Francisco, once posted, we make our guests feel comfortable at ease, their privacy is safe, safeguard, our lips are sealed inside the confirmed post. Joe's been a Cafe Milano regular for so long, he knows the place like the back of his hand. Cafe Milano, which is also a private dining room, canceled opposite Plaza Domingo, but a hitman plotted to kill Milano regular Adele Jubier in the UK by the bombing. While the restaurant, once dubbed the second White House cafeteria by Page 6, is considered the Capitol's ultimate lair for political dinner. First-time visitor Milano can be surprised. I don't give a fuck. I don't want a review of the goddamn restaurant. When did the actual meetings happen? I don't give a fuck that these people are eating there. Jesus Christ. Now it's like it's a who's who restaurant. Again, God damn it. How hard is it? Okay, let's look, because there was a hot link that said clandestine meeting. We'll jump on that real quick. Back up. States had clandestine dinner meetings. Okay. Joe Biden was a regular DC hotspot where he met Hunter's Kazakh associates. Okay, this is not a clandestine dinner. This is the World Food Bank meeting. He took a photo with people that apparently he was having a clandestine meeting with. A photo, because Joe Biden is so old, he's new to this whole photography things. Like apparently he thinks they disappear like ninja notes on rice paper. Shows with a pair of his troubled sons, business associates from Kazakhstan, what appears to be the same Washington D.C. power dining spot where Hunter Biden introduced the future president to his overseas cronies. Online photos of the interior of Cafe Milano match the background of the shot. Biden's Kazakhstan. Okay, blah, blah, blah. They were at the World Food Bank dinner there. He made an appearance. Who gives a shit? Meanwhile, Biden was described as a regular. I don't care. That has nothing to do. Just because you're a regular doesn't mean you can make up meetings. Sketchy shit happened when Nixon was in the Oval Office. That doesn't mean that sketchy shit is happening in the same building while Joe's there, or that it didn't while Trump was there because Nixon was no longer there. Hunter Biden worked with Rakishev, who is family time to define U.S. investments to 300 million plus fortune between 2012. Hold on, sneeze. There's usually a third one, but I think I'm okay. All right. Anybody else sneeze in threes? Okay. The unverified image of the Bidens, Rakishev and Masimov, was posted online in 2019. Oh, okay. According to a website timestamped by the Kazakhstan Initiative on Asset Recovery, which didn't say where or when the photo was shot. Okay, so it might be Cafe Milano, it might not, and no one can verify it, and there's no metadata. Whatever the fuck. But on Wednesday, the Post exclusively revealed that Joe Biden met with Ukrainian, Russian, and Kazakhstani business associates in Cafe Milano's garden room on April 16, 2015, while he was vice president under President Barack Obama. Guest list for the event. It was an event, was it? I thought this was a private meeting in the little wine room. It was an event, you say? Where pictures were taken? Curious. according to an email Hunter Biden sent to his then business partner, Devin Archer, 3 weeks later. 3 seats for our KZ friends. Those invitees weren't identified further, but Archer was invited to a small private breakfast in Massimo Suite at the Willard Hotel the morning of the gathering, and other email shows. There were several matters the Prime Minister is eager to discuss with you and will be grateful for the opportunity to spend quality time together. And a third Kazakhstani delegation member, banker Mark Holtzman, emailed Hunter Biden the following. Dear Hunter, get it? No, he's not a mistake. Dear Hunter is the Deer Hunter joke, I guess, probably. Thank you for an amazing evening, wonderful company, and great conversation. I look forward to seeing you soon, and many opportunities working closely together. And he describes him as a close friend. Cool. Did he mention his dad in it? Is it his dad? Is his dad there? Like, plus thanks for all the help from your dad. That would just be helpful to me to make this go from the information pile that may or may not be true to bullshit, to the evidence pile. Hunter Biden was acknowledged struggling with drug addiction, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's a picture of this. That's the Prime Minister of Kazakhstan. Nice, alike. I thought I need to figure out a way to tell him I'm going to do something, that I can go take another hint. It's the only thing I can think of, really. The digital correspondence contained on a hard drive that holds the contents of a laptop. Bullshit. This is made up. The Mac Pro was seized by the FBI in December 2019, apparently in connection with... No, it wasn't. This is a conflation, by the way. Here you go. This is how this works. The digital correspondence is contained on a hard drive that holds the contents of a laptop that was left at a repair shop in Biden's hometown of Wilmington, Delaware in April 2019 and never retrieved, the store owner has told the Post. The MacBook Pro was seized by the FBI in December of 2019, apparently in connection with what Hunter Biden claimed last year as a probe of my tax affairs by federal authorities. No, there's a separate laptop that he turned over to the FBI because they subpoenaed it, an actual one. His real one, not the magic laptop that we're all supposed to believe that drugged out and drunken Hunter Biden walks into the only repair shop in Delaware that is run by a guy who personally knows Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, is a Trump fan, and can't see 6 inches past the end of his nose, and could not tell the difference between Don Jr., Eric, and Hunter Biden in a fucking lineup. Really? 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 That's what we're supposed to... Really? Okay. I should reach out to these. Well, it's the Post. My only problem is when it gets carried in other shit. But the Post is... I mean, this is ancient at this point. But for the record, you'll notice that Jim Jordan does not... He's just making like conflations into... fake information. This would be disinfo specifically. I mean, he might just be dumb. Let's not rule out the fact that Jim Jordan might just be confused about a lot of these things, and he's like a dog with a bone because he needs to go after... He's been ordered by Trump or whoever to go after Biden, or he just thinks it's his ticket and personally thinks he wants to do it, and he doesn't care how he does it, so he just throws shit together. But it sounds like to me he literally doesn't understand the timeline, and it sounds like Sean Hannity is having the same problem with it.
And the timing is interesting because when that first investment happens, it's in February of 2014. It happens a week before Russia invades Crimea, and then it's 2 weeks after when there are sanctions put on all kinds of oligarchs in Russia, and for some reason she escapes the sanctions. And then literally the very...
Did anybody else, quote, escape the sanctions? Also, her husband was the mayor. He's dead. And her, like, she's getting out. She was trying to, like, I guess she was... The investment worked because it improved her wealth, but it seemed like a bug out. She wasn't involved in this shit. She was the wife of the guy.
The very next month in Italy is when the head of the Burisma offers Hunter Biden a position on the board, and at that meeting is also none other than Elena Baturina. So they're all connected right from the get-go.
All right, I don't know where he got that connection from. Let's see. Elena Baturina. Burisma. I like... honest to God, like that's so fucking made up. Like I think he's misreading the Senate report. Hunter Biden real estate commission, wire transfer. Okay, same bullshit stories on this. I'm not finding where they have posted this idea that she was at the dinner. Lena Botterina Biden. Yeah. Here's maybe this is newer. Okay, let's see if it's in here. 1 second. This is another New York Post story, which is apparently where this dickhead gets all this shit from. And Hunter Biden linked real estate firm got at least 100 million. Oh, get out of here. From Russian oligarch. Hunter Biden linked. This real estate firm got at least 100 million from Russian oligarch sources. This is Miranda Devine. She's the woman who wrote the book about the laptop she's never laid eyes on, based on a hard drive she got from Rudy Giuliani's buddy that literally has more files on it than the capacity of the laptop it allegedly came from. The real estate company with ties to the first son, Hunter Biden, received $100 million from Russian billionaire for property investments across the U.S. to date back a decade. The hefty cash injections into Rosemont Realty came from Elena Baturina, one of Russia's wealthiest women, the widow of former mayor of Moscow and a close ally of Moscow tyrant Vladimir Putin. Again, if she's buying favors for Putin, she's not getting them from Joe Biden. Super fucking weird. In one portfolio deal, Baturina paid at least $40 million to Rosemont to invest in office buildings across the country, according to a source with knowledge of transactions. Right? Wow. She must have lost her bullshit level in 2020. That money went toward the 2012 purchase of 7 office buildings in Texas, Colorado, Alabama, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. Totally blue states, according to deal-related emails obtained by Daily Mail. Okay, we'll open that in a second. The investment purportedly came from Intico Management. Whoops, I'm sorry. I should show you this. Oh, why is this? Why did it not go? What are you doing? There we go. Sorry. The investment came from Intico Management AG, the Swiss company owned by Baturina. So she has a company. It's a Swiss company. It's not even a Russian company. She's not Swiss. I mean, obviously the Swiss are neutral, so they're a bridge point with a lot of sketchy shit. But okay, this isn't the first time President Biden's 52-year-old son has been linked to Baturina, whose late husband Yuri Luzhov was the mayor of Russia's capital for more than 18 years before being dismissed by then President Medvedev. Okay, hold on 1 second. Get up here. There you go. But Dmitry Medvedev in 2010. Baturina, who has an estimated net worth of $1.4 billion, had wired $3.5 million in 2014 to a bank account held by Rosemont Seneca Thornton, a consortium formed between Hunter's investment company Rosemont Seneca and Boston-based Thornton Group. Like Rosemont Realty, Rosemont Seneca Thornton is an offshoot of Rosemont Capital Partners, a private equity firm co-founded by Hunter Biden and Chris Hines, the stepson of Heinz Kerry, blah, blah, blah. 2014 transfer was later scrutinized in 2020 by a report commissioned by Senate Ties to Ukraine. Baturina's transfers flagged suspicious activity. Hunter's lawyer, George Mazers, denied Biden's son profited from the transaction, telling CNN Hunter Biden had no interest in and was not a co-founder of Rosemont Seneca Thornton, so the claim he was paid $3.5 million is false. The GOP report, overseen by Ron Johnson and Chuck Grassley, describes Baturina's involvement with Hunter as a financial relationship, but did not touch on why the wire transfer was made. The question of who pocketed the $3.5 million has never been determined. Yes, it has. Devin Archer said he did. Less than 2 months after the wire transfer, Hunter and then business partner Devin Archer met with Baturina in April 2014 at the Villa d'Este, a well-known haunt of Russian oligarchs overlooking Lake Como, Italy. According to emails uncovered from Hunter's infamous laptop, Baturina's name also popped up the same month regarding a possible real estate deal in New York's Chelsea neighborhood, as well as Latin American cocoa venture. Despite denying ever discussing his family, Biden attended a dinner at Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C. with his troubled son's business associates April 2015. Okay, we're still going back to the event at Cafe Milano, not a dinner. This was an event for the World World Food Bank or whatever that Hunter was running at the time. Baturina and Lujov, who died in 2019 after complications from heart surgery. Apparently his heart didn't bounce when it hit the floor of the operating room, which proves he's a witch, I think. Were among those who invited the dinner, according to a copy of this. While the records on the laptop don't make clear whether Baturina ended up at the dinner, Archer had emailed Hunter ahead of the event to say she didn't want to attend. Yelena doesn't want to steal Yuri's thunder, so she'll be in town to meet with us, but doesn't want to come to dinner. That was just her thoughts. We could insist. Baturina is one of the few Russian oligarchs who notably escaped sanctions since Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. A fact caught the attention of GOP lawmakers. If the United States is avoiding sanctioning certain Russian oligarchs because of concerns, they may attempt to influence American policy by exploiting Hunter Biden's connection. Again, what is she going to do? Help Russia? Again, if she's trying to bug out, at this point, it's like, even if what they're saying is true, which I don't believe it is, they would just be paying a spy, essentially. She's not the oligarch. Her husband was. Message exchange between Archer and Keynes Rakshev. Okay, and we're back to that, where they met at the event. Intico, who I know is taking a significant equity piece, love to see you on board. They're doing other business while they're. I know you mentioned you were less interested in real estate, but this deal we're closing next month, and it's just too attractive not to share. Didn't mean to respond to post. Okay, where's the? Let's go back here. Attended a dinner at Cafe Milano. Bet you it's the same shit. Is it? Yeah. Joe was a regular at the DC hotspot where he went to the dinner for the World Food Bank. Is that what we're gonna, or the World? Hold on. No, I don't want to go away. I don't want to go. Stop it. Anyways, I'm not gonna pay the New York Post for this bullshit. Why would I? Yeah. So far, no good. I honest to God, I don't know what the ever-loving shit.
And they continue this pattern of shaking down foreign companies, foreign influence.
Okay. You can't shake down someone who's bribing you. At the very least, you dumb fuck, make up your minds. Either they're selling the brand or they're enforcing the brand. The mafia doesn't sell a brand, you dumb son of a bitch. It doesn't work that way. You pick one. Good Lord. Are they being bribed and extorted, or are they extorting someone? If they're extorting someone, that person has to give in to what you want, not the other way around. What?
And getting the money all the way through while he's vice president, and then, of course, it continued all the way into 2018.
All right, no, it didn't. Everybody else having a job or a business or trying to have a job or a business has nothing to fucking do with Joe Biden until you land it at his fucking feet that he made a decision while he was in office as vice president that affected policy that was contrary to what everyone else there agreed on. And they can't do it. Not anywhere. Not China policy or with the China money. Not Ukraine. Not Russia. Not fucking Romania or fucking Kazakhstan. None of these fucking places. He was vice president.
Okay, let's look at, I think, the biggest slam dunk case, and that is...
All right, yeah, let's do it, please, because the rest of this is boring the fuck out of me.
It's the Burisma case.
All right, this is a slam dunk. Burisma's a slam dunk. Go for it.
Because, and again, I'll throw out the dates. It was October of 2015. It became official Obama administration policy that they had felt, interagency groups had felt, that Ukraine made enough progress on the issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Sean's going to walk Jim Jordan right into this fucking rake. That's a good time.
Groups had felt that Ukraine made enough progress on the issue of corruption that they were willing to give $1 billion in loan guarantees.
That was it. And by the way, the third of the $3 billion, because we'd already done it twice.
It's October of 2015.
October of 2015. You said it. Mark that down. Somebody put that. October 2015. Put it in the chat. Here we go. Okay. This is what happened in October. And then what happened?
Okay. Fast forward. December of 20.
Oh, no. Oh, no, you don't, dumb fuck. You don't get to jump ahead. You can't skip a goddamn month. You can't skip a month because it's an important month.
2015.
5
days before Joe goes to Ukraine.
5 days before Joe goes to Ukraine. December 4th or 7th or whatever, 2nd, whatever it is. Okay, so October 2015, they decide they've made the progress, and they're going to give them the extra $1 billion. However, fast forward to December, and Biden is on a mission, according to these two fuckheads, Biden is on a mission to give this money to Ukraine. There's no option, no alternative. They've already decided it's their money. He's just, to use the parlance of these assholes, Biden is the bag man. All right? Okay. December. Because I would like everyone to think about Thanksgiving of that year. I'm just going to put that in your head, and we'll come back to that after this asshole lays a trap for himself.
Hunter in Dubai with
Burisma
executives, the people paying him millions of dollars.
Right.
They called Joe Biden.
Yep, they called Joe Biden, and what do they say?
And 5 days later, Joe Biden then goes against Obama administration.
Against Obama administration policy. Yeah, that's what happens there, does he? Huh? This is what you don't think I have this. So, sorry, hold on 1 second. I gotta put the wrong thing in there. Hold on. You don't think I have this on fucking Quick Draw? I do too. I was gonna set up literally a button where I could call this shit up. This would be in, what's the folder that I had it in? Stills and Assets? Yeah, that was it. There we go. And we go to here, and it's a PDF. This guy right here. Monday, November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving. The Monday before Thanksgiving. Right. Hang out. Okay. Sorry. You were saying, dipshit? Hold on. Let me get this out of here. Where are you? That's the cow guy, and we don't need this one. Right? Okay. So say this again real quick. So he goes from October. This is the idea. October, they agree it's time to give him the money. Fuck it. And then December, 5 days before he goes, say it again.
It became official Obama administration policy.
Official Obama administration policy.
That they had felt, interagency groups had felt.
The interagency groups had felt, and by the way, look at Sean's face in this freeze frame and know that he knows at this moment that he is talking out of his ass. He is aware that he is talking out of his ass. He knows, and here's the thing. Both of these dickheads know the document that I'm going to show you. They've seen it. They're either willfully ignoring it or they're pretending it doesn't exist. And I didn't, by the way, get this document because it was crafted by a Democratic operative. It was posted on John Solomon's website, the right-wing supporter of Donald Trump. He thought this helped the argument. It doesn't.
That Ukraine made enough progress.
Say yeah again. Fucking go ahead, Jim. Go ahead. Yeah.
On the issue of corruption, that they were willing to give $1 billion in loan guarantees. That's October of 2015.
October. Then what?
Okay. Fast forward, December of 2015.
Because you got to skip November or your entire argument shits the bed. Gotcha.
5 days before Joe goes to Ukraine, Hunter in Dubai with Burisma executives, the people paying him millions of dollars, they call Joe Biden.
Nope. The officially, according to Devin Archer, they were talking about, quote, calling Washington, but they weren't calling Biden. There was no direct call. The assumption is because that's his son that they called him. If you know how shit turned out, that makes no sense. But they called Washington was the idea. We had to talk to people in Washington, not his dad, specifically.
And 5 days later, Joe Biden then goes against Obama administration.
Against Obama administration
policy. While he's in Ukraine.
While he's in Ukraine, he just goes rogue.
Leverages $1 billion taxpayer.
Leverages $1 billion in taxpayer money.
And as a result, they gave him 6 hours to fire the prosecutor investigating Burisma, investigating his son. And that official action as vice president then benefited his son.
Yeah, it also benefited Ukraine and the entire European Union and especially the people of Ukraine who were under the thumb of Russia
admitted he had no experience in Ukraine, energy, oil, or gas, but was being paid millions of dollars. And
wait a minute. You don't actually think Donald Trump knows anything about construction, do you?
Admitted he was an addict at the time.
Right. What does that have to do with anything?
So how is that not his involvement? Because
okay, hey, thanks for asking. Because listen, dumb fuck, I got the answer for you. This would be a U.S. Department of State memorandum produced with the vice president's agenda for that December trip to Ukraine. They went back and forth on it. This includes the document. Now, again, I didn't get this from fucking some like Democrat operative, crafting a version of it to make him look better. This is the actual document with mild redactions from that time. Okay, here we go. EUR Ukraine clearances. This is all this stuff. Please clear on there. Latest versions are attached. This is the latest version. Here you go. Clear the attached PSLs for V. POTUS's Kiev trip by end of business hours, whatever, tomorrow. Okay, this is Vice President's trip to Kiev. Specifically, this is the trip they are talking about. Gotcha? Anybody who's new here, fucking come close to the screen, maggots. All right. They have a Ukraine desk. This is okay. It is unclassified, but here it is. This is the itinerary for what Joe Biden is supposed to do as of November 22nd, 2015. This is between October, when they've cleared this money to go ahead, which is when this document began to get crafted. He's talking about early drafts and stuff that's referenced in this very fucking thing. All right. This is written, by the way, for the vice president to read. Your visit to Kiev comes as infighting among the parties in Ukraine's governing coalition is growing and stalling progress on the government's agenda. Blah blah blah. Okay, this is background. This is what the policy is, and this is what the vice president's goal checklist is. And again, he's vice president. He's sent on a mission from the entire administration. This is crafted with the president's knowledge. Everybody in the administration. This document is batted around, and then it is finalized. This is the final version, okay? Unity and reforms. And fucking hell. You should recommend that the president, the current president, Petro Poroshenko of Ukraine, give a speech, a State of the Nation speech to the Rada, where he re-energizes the efforts to roll out new proposed reforms. There's wide agreement that anti-corruption must be at the top of the list. And that, there we go. And that reforms must include an overhaul. Must. That reforms must. See that word must? Everybody sees the word must. You see the word must, don't you? Do you see the word must? That's so good. That reforms must include. This is Obama, Biden administration official policy. For fuck's sake. All right. Must include. Must. Now, that's a must, not a shall, not a hope, not a we would prefer. You're being sent there with $1 billion, but this must be included. Must include an overhaul of the Prosecutor General's office, including removal of Prosecutor General Shokin, who is widely regarded as an obstacle as an obstacle to fighting corruption, if not a source of the problem. Done. Sean Hannity, Jim Jordan, you're either lying or you're dumb. Pick one. Good Lord.
He seems very involved in it.
No, we think it certainly was, and you're exactly right. He leveraged.
No, he's not.
Your tax dollars, the people I represent, their tax dollars, the American people's tax money.
Yeah, because it was the policy of the entire administration and the entire EU and the World Bank. The World Bank was leveraging $70 billion.
Leverages that to get an outcome that will benefit the company his son sits on the board of.
But how will it benefit him? Because Shokin has Zlochevsky on a short leash, and Shokin is viewed as being a source of the corruption that exists. You get rid of him, you get a real prosecutor in there. Eventually, that led to Zlochevsky fleeing the fucking country. And part of his hiring of Hunter Biden may very well have been to try and head off this change, and it didn't fucking work.
That all happened as clear as day. And
No, it didn't.
I always say there are 4 fundamental facts here.
Oh, yeah. He does this all the time.
Fact number 1, Hunter Biden gets put on that board of Burisma. Fact number 2, he's not qualified. He said so himself. He said he got the job because of his last name.
Right, because they trusted him as a shepherd for the investments.
Which, by the way, was confirmed by his business partner, Devin Archer, when we deposed him this past summer.
Right, because Archer could have bugged out with the money and fled to Russia like so many people had done before, but Hunter Biden, because he was Joe Biden's son, couldn't fucking do it. Your money was safe with Hunter.
Fact number 3, as you point out, he's asked to relieve the pressure that they're under from the prosecutor. Fact number 4, he goes there, gets the prosecutor fired, but you...
No. By the way, neither of that is true. First of all, the third one is about the call to Washington, effectively, which did not go to Joe Biden. And if it did, what the call would have resulted in was apparently the Obama White House had already decided to do this anyways, that the call was unnecessary. As a matter of fact, Hunter may have known that this was a fait accompli. If anything, if there was any kind of coordination around it, Hunter could just be flexing because they're asking for something that my dad is already going to do because the rest of the world wants
this. Is our tax money to accomplish that goal. Again, old as time. This story is as old as it gets.
Yes, people have been telling bullshit fables for a very long time.
Politician does certain things that benefit his family financially, and then most importantly, there's an effort to conceal it, an effort to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, which is what David Weiss has done now for 5 years, both as the U.S. attorney.
Oh, I see. So David Weiss, the Trump appointee, it has been running interference. And the charges against Hunter, which could result in 17 years in jail, are yet another part of that cover-up.
And now, again, I believe, as special counsel.
Okay, then he's making more money in energy or more energy deals, and that goes to the WhatsApp message. If you remember
you mean the one where Joe's no longer in office?
1023 form. Now, in that WhatsApp...
No. The 1023 isn't related to the WhatsApp.
That message, I am sitting here next to my father.
Yeah, the 1023 doesn't relate to that. That's the CEFC deal. Get it straight. Do I have to keep these fucking guys... Can we just make like a game show out of this?
They're mad that you didn't fulfill your commitment. Between everybody he knows, my ability to hold a grudge, you're going to regret not following through on your...
Again, yes. This is, again, proving my fucking point. If Biden is being bribed, or China or Russia or whoever the fuck owns Biden, then how the fuck are he and his son telling them off? How does that, what? What version of blackmail involves you calling the blackmailer in the middle of the night and demanding money in exchange for naked pictures of yourself or something? Come over here and shoot pictures of me having an affair, goddammit, right this second, or you're fired. Like,
commitment. Anyway, we are sitting here, meaning Hunter and Joe, waiting for the call.
Right. Whether that's true or not, him leveraging the power and existence of his dad is one thing, but also his dad's out of office at this point.
And didn't Hunter also implicate his father as being a recipient of the money, half my income to Pops? Didn't we learn from Jason Smith's committee last week?
Yeah, by the way, well before he was making millions of dollars. And yeah.
That Joe himself, using an alias account, an email.
Oh, my God. Sean Hannity, do you have a work email at Fox? Is it Sean Hannity or Sean.Hannity or shannity@foxnews.com? If it is, you're a fucking nutcase, and that email address is completely useless. Are you going to tell me that, by the way, I don't doubt that Jim Jordan has a private account and a business account, or a campaign account, an office account, and his own private account for emails and the like, because that's what a lot of these folks do. Is he just Jim Jordan at fucking Gmail? Are we just going to assume that? Yeah, can you imagine? Yes, imagine the fucking spam if government officials in the White House used their real name or had to.
Account was emailing directly with Eric Sherwin. Don't we have emails between Sherwin and Hunter that say, what account should I take the money out of to pay for Dad's home repairs? Didn't we have Hunter...
Home repairs. You mean when he handed off his control of his finances to this guy because he didn't trust himself with the money? Because he's an addict with children?
Complaining half his income goes to Pops. So it seems...
Again, what bag man bitches at the mob boss? If you're the bag man and you're living off the brand of your dad, it ain't none of it's your money, dumbass. None of it.
To me, like,
that's, well, of course it appears to that like you, Hannity, you're a dope.
I agree. I'm a dope.
I know.
It's all implicating Joe Biden. And then...
No, it's not.
We hear again and again, there's no evidence. I'll give you the last...
There is no evidence.
Last word on this.
Well, and it's why we want to move forward with this impeachment inquiry vote, where the full House goes on record. A majority of the House of Representatives says, yes, we're in official impeachment inquiry phase of our oversight responsibilities, because we think we'll be able to get additional emails better from the administration. We'll have a better chance of getting them.
Yeah, you'll get stuff from the other emails where they're using the fake names because it's normal correspondence. And so basically you'll be releasing emails that are the ones that you thought Hillary Clinton shouldn't have been loose with. You're going to be equally loose with them. Okay,
we have to go to court, and we'll get to have in for depositions these people we're talking with. We think they're going to come in, but they'll come in sooner. They'll come in faster.
Why?
If in fact we have an official vote and pass that on Wednesday.
Yeah, no.
But Ken Buck says he won't. Do you see any Democrats that maybe don't want Joe at the top of the ticket? Are they going to join forces with Republicans on this and vote for the impeachment inquiry?
I doubt it.
You doubt
I doubt it, but I do think we're going to get enough Republican votes. There's a couple other people I want to talk to.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And look how well you did with the speaker vote. I think you got it locked, motherfucker. You got it locked.
But I do think we'll get the Republican votes and be able to get all the info. We've got a lot now, and I think it's compelling, as we just talked about.
Yeah, it's not. It's fucking silly.
But I think we'll be able to get more information if
You think you'll be able to get more information, do you?
in fact we have that vote, and inevitably have to go to court to get the documents and get some of these witnesses in for the depositions.
Before they tell you to go pound sand.
Maybe you'll lose Ken Buck. I mean, he's not been particularly helpful on pretty much everything. Anyway, Jim Jordan, thank you. Hey, Sean.
Can I just say for the record, can we just enjoy the fact that Sean Hannity, this dipshit thumb in a suit, is in a situation where they're having to worry about the loss of one Republican vote because that's their majority. They're talking about having to get Democrats to vote for the impeachment of the president that's in their own party. Does that sound like they're in a power position that makes you nervous? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, CSL. Yeah, I've got 7 minutes till I got to bug out because we're taking my girlfriend's son to dinner tonight. And then I've got computer work to do with him. What's with the nose? The nose knows, my friends. All right, let's see. I don't know that there's anything that I can do in 7 minutes. But here, let's go straight for the ridiculous. This is the jugular of ridiculous. And by the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. I've only got 7 minutes left in the show. We're gonna make it count. I'm sorry about this honestly, if I wore contacts, no.
Yeah, well, I think they're motivated, right? They're actually telling the truth. They're kind of changing their mind. They're coming forward because they've actually seen the juxtaposition of what Donald Trump was able to achieve with a record-breaking economy, infrastructure, a
Number of dead Americans in 1 year.
focus on jobs here, not exporting the American dream.
Well, what do you mean with his 3-phase China deal?
And people want that change. We were safer at home. We had
Yes, because no one could leave.
a much stronger, more robust national security, foreign policy. We didn't have, Putin and the Chinese emboldened. We didn't have Kim
Well, I don't know. Putin seemed pretty bold when he was meeting with Trump.
Jong-un emboldened. We didn't have this mess that we're seeing with the
It is a mess.
terrorism, with Hamas against Israel. So people want to go back to the way it was, and it'll be even.
Real quick. Hold on. Let's see. See if I can find the. Yeah, here you go. This is just. Let's see this. Okay. Here's a just real quick. Here's a list of rocket attacks from Hamas on Israel in 2018 alone. January 1st, 9 p.m., 2 rockets. January 3rd, between 2 and 9 p.m., 4 rockets fired from Gaza at Israel. February 2nd, at midnight, 1 rocket was fired from Gaza at Israel. The IDF did not confirm it landed in Israeli territory. February 17th, February 18th. 10 p.m., 1 rocket was fired from Gaza at Israel. May 29th, there were 70 rockets and mortars fired at Israel. June 3rd, 3 rockets were fired into southern Israel from Gaza. The rockets were intercepted by Iron Dome. 18th, 3 rockets. 20th, 45 rockets. June 27th, 13 rockets. July 14th, 174 rockets or mortar shells were fired into Israel from Gaza. 30 were intercepted by Iron Dome. August 8th, 8 rockets fired at Israel. 2 intercepted, 4 impacted in areas, 2 landed in Sderot, causing damage and 2 injuries. November 11th, 17 rockets fired. November 12th, a mortar fired at Gaza hit an Israeli bus, critically wounding a 19-year-old man. That's 2018. Trump was president during that. Let's go to 2017, the first year he took over. How about that? Let's go February 6th. 1 rocket fell inside Israel, open area in the Hof Eshkelon Regional Council. February 8th, a barrage of rockets fired from Sinai at Israel. Iron Dome Defense gets it. February 20th, 2 rockets fired. February 27th, 1 rocket fired at Gaza at Israel. It fell inside Israel in an open area in Negev. March 15th, 1 rocket fired. March 18th, 2 rockets fired. April 10th, 1 rocket fired. May 23rd, 1 rocket fired at Sinai at Israel. June 26th, a rocket fired at Gaza at Israel. It fell inside Israel in an open air area near the Sha'ar Negev Regional Council. 1 a.m., 1 rocket was fired from Gaza at Israel. 1 a.m. On July 24th. August 8th, in an August terrorism report by Shabak, it was said that in August there had been 1 rocket attack from Gaza around 9 p.m. August. In the August terrorism report, it was said that October there had been 1 rocket attack from Sinai. November 30th, around 6:30 p.m., a barrage of 12 mortars were fired from Gaza at Israeli forces near the Gaza border. IDF retaliated, striking Hamas positions. Later, IDF assessments indicate the mortars were fired by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. December 7th, on the evening, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh made calls for a 3rd intifada. The day the United States declared Jerusalem the capital of Israel, 7 rockets were fired from Gaza at Israel. This is, by the way, this is when Trump did this. Remember when Trump declared Israel the capital, Jerusalem the capital of Israel? Remember this shit? Yeah. And he's like, nothing really happened. The next day, 4 rockets fired from Gaza. 1 rocket landed short in Gaza. 1 was intercepted by the Iron Dome. 2 landed in the city of Sderot, causing damage to a kindergarten and several vehicles. Yeah, so they fired rockets at a kindergarten. Yeah. IDF retaliated by striking Hamas, killing 2 Hamas members and injuring 25 more Palestinians. December 11th, 4 rockets around 7 p.m. and 1 rocket at 11:30 p.m. So, like, this is the list. Fucking every month, at least twice a month. during the entire Trump presidency. Let's look at 2019. Shit. There you go. March. 2 rockets launched Gaza Strip. There you go. March 25th. Rocket was launched at Gaza, hit a house in Mishmaret, injuring 7 people. During the first week of May, 600 rockets were fired at Israel by Hamas or other terrorist organization. It started after 50 rockets were fired at Israel from Gaza on the 4th of May. 3 Israelis were killed. June, following 5 weeks of quiet, a barrage of incendiary balloons on June 12th sparked 6 wildfires and damaged farmlands. Another balloon carrying a bomb, which exploded over an Israeli city but didn't cause injuries. Let's see, Iron Dome, blah, blah, blah. September, 7 Palestinians were wounded after a rocket was launched from Gaza Strip that fell short, hitting a house in the Strip. On the 12th of November, Palestinian Islamic Jihad fired 190 rockets from Gaza into Israel, including long-range rockets fired towards Tel Aviv, leading to several civilians being wounded. This was in response to the targeted killing by Israel of senior Palestinian Islamic Jihad Baha Abu al-Atta in Gaza. In response, Israel carried out strikes, artillery shelling. There we go. That was 2019. Wait, 2020 must have been calm, right? Must have been fucking nothing. We were all indoors. 4 rockets January 15th. Nearly daily rocket attacks over 2 weeks with the launch of a dozen balloon-borne explosive devices. Israeli politician threatened a harsh military response if attacks continue. February, on 16th February, at least 2 rockets were fired at southern Israel. On February 23rd, in response to the killing of Mohammed al-Naim, the subsequent desecration of his corpse by an Israeli army bulldozer, Palestinian Islamic Jihad fired over 21 rockets. May 5th, 1 rocket was fired from Gaza. 15th of June, 1 rocket fired. 2 rockets on June 26th. You get my point? But please tell me how everything was quiet and peaceful during
better than
Trump.
ever. So for the people that are still asleep, Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, they're totally asleep. Like, they don't realize how good they had it when we were all indoors, masked up, waiting for Operation Fart Steed to kick in.
Wake up.
Yeah, you better wake up, because the best apparently isn't yet to come, okay?
Primary is over.
It was the pandemic during 2020. That was my point. You'd argue that it would slow down during that time, but it actually got worse.
This is Trump's victory. He'll be taking that victory lap soon enough. We're seeing it in polls.
Dude. All right. Don't call a victory lap. Just say he'll win or something, but he's not going to do a lap.
After poll, Wall Street Journal, CNN, NBC News, Des Moines Register, McLaughlin. Donald Trump has all the momentum in this race, and he's continuing to thrive. And this is very good, by the way, Rob, for down ballot candidates as well, because...
Yeah. Want to know how I got these scars? My boyfriend is a 3rd generation Trump. All right, I gotta go. I got a dinner with the fam. So love you guys. Thank you so much, and thanks for keeping me on point with that. I appreciate that chat room. It means a lot. I will see you guys tomorrow in the morning, and I think this new thing set up will help me with the whole like kind of eye contact with the guests as well, which is kind of helpful. I'm just saying, did it work better that I was able to address the chat room with you guys in here? Bye. Good night, everyone. Cheers. There you go. Thank you. Wes doesn't like me at all. I know that, Wes. And yet you're here, which I think, again, if you can get people who like you to stick around and watch the show over and over again, that's impressive, but not nearly as impressive as I must say, as you know, making people that hate you stick around, you know? Like I must be, Wes, you got to give it to me. I'm a charming son of a bitch. Yes. So, anyways, I will see you guys later. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I will see you in the morning. All right. And if I don't see you, the kidney will. Mean it.
Sets the tone from the top. When he's on the ticket, the base turns out, and that's what I expect to really mobilize our base, get out the vote, and get these new independent, libertarian voters, people that didn't vote last time to turn out. I think people want a, change of order in a magnitude like we've never seen before, and it really is benefiting and inuring to the benefit of Donald Trump.
Yeah, as the polls, look pretty good. The fear mongering, as we knew would happen, just gets louder and louder. You turn on any of the cable news right now, it's just they are in a complete panic over what happens if Trump gets back in. This is Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder.
On speed dial, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to play this real quick. This is Eric Holder. This is the guy who called himself Obama's wingman when he was the Attorney General of the United States. You're not allowed to say things like that. This guy did nothing when the IRS targeted conservative groups. He's now claiming Trump's second term will be a dictatorship. Take a listen.
If the president told a compliant attorney general, I don't like what this congressman said about me or did about me, did to me over the course of the last 2-3 years, whatever, open an investigation on that person. That attorney general could tell a compliant United States attorney to do just that. If you've got the full weight of the Justice Department, the full weight of the presidency, the full weight of the FBI focusing on somebody like that, that can be extremely damaging to not only that person individually, but to our democracy writ large.
And he ought to know, Rob. He ought to know because
Exactly.
he was the most political, weaponized attorney general in United States political history. He was the left and right arm, the machine gun of